And in the loading screen. All right, guys, spawning in the top left position. He's the Wonder Kid from America. It is, coming in from Mouz Esports, Illusion. And spawning in the bottom right position, very, very crisp timings and an excellent bit of pressure that basically put him in a game-winning position against Hope. It is MVP's Lure. So if you guys don't know who Illusion is, it's actually a pretty good friend of mine. Terran player, formerly of the original Quantic Gaming. Pretty stand-up guy. He made a big name for himself through IPL, taking out some big-name Koreans, especially with mech builds. He's a very innovative Terran player. Actually haven't really seen him play much HOTS, which is one of the reasons why I'm actually really excited about seeing him go up, even on this map. Not used quite as much. Ohana, statistically speaking, I believe it actually favors the Protoss race a little bit here versus Terran. A lot of the choke points are pretty narrow. There's not too many spaces on this this map to fly around for drops. It's a very narrow map. Force field's very effective. Storm. There are a couple of good open areas for engagements, but even then, it requires very good control from both players. More of a classic map. Some all-ins, very strong, thanks to the back rocks by the natural expansion. And, ooh, goodness, Illusion choosing to open up with a 2-racks gasless. So this is basically to put on a lot of marine pressure, and it can also challenge a Protoss player that skips their Zealot. And you know what? I have to say that's actually a really tactful decision. Majority of Protoss players in the matchup versus Terran will choose to open double gas and skip the Zealot in favor of getting a faster Stalker and Mothership Core. And the number of Marines that you can put out on 2 racks, it counts up very, very quickly, which could allow for Illusion to do a lot of damage. Now, Lure still has not yet taken his second gas. Pretty interesting. It looks like he wants to go for a 1 gateway expand. Energy mostly being burned onto these probes chrono boosted out. Illusion will now be sending an SCV over to scout and see what's going on. And this, it actually might not be able to do too much damage. The Zealot is going to be made for Lure. It's going to come down to good control from Illusion, but better control from Lure, of course. Really will be able to hold this Stalkers very well. Oh, he cancels the Zealot to get his Nexus up. This could be disastrous for Lure. Illusion is cranking out these Marines, and Lure actually hasn't scouted him at all. He doesn't know about this. It's possible that he could be anticipating Illusion going for some kind of macro build. Illusion is known for his creative builds usually being based around expanding, but Illusion can actually expand behind this pretty easily. The SCV is running around. He knows, okay, Mothership Core is out. But the issue here is that the Mothership Core doesn't have enough energy for Photon Overcharge. The next issue, this Nexus isn't done. You can't activate the Nexus Cannon without it being complete. So this could be a pretty nice timing to hit here. We do have a Stalker finally on the way for Lure, but it's just going to be the Mothership Core versus these Marines, and if Illusion can catch this Mothership Core, he might be able to do crippling amounts of damage. He's now moving up towards the ramp. 4 Marines do beat a Mothership Core. He's waiting for the Stalker. He's going to need to chrono boost out a second one to hold this pressure off. Probes already being pulled off of the mineral line to help deal with this, and this is all Illusion wants. He's building a command center behind this to expand, taking out a couple of probes. Very nice. If he can get this Mothership Core, that would be a huge score. He's so close. It's only got 36 hit points. The Stalker looks like it's going to be able to kill this Illusion. Is he going to target fire it down? It gets so low. He does kill the Mothership Core, and this has already been cost effective. He's just going to pull these Marines back. He can try to group them up. We'll be able to take out the scouting probe as well. And behind this, Illusion adding on a 3rd barracks, going for double gas. So he is going to be making a very standard Terran versus Protoss transition. Moving into that Marine, Marauder, Medevac, Stim. And he can actually do a timing with this because he's kind of crippled Lure a little bit. Lure doesn't have the Mothership Core for defense. And the thing is, Lure's actually rebuilding it very, very quickly. This is 100 gas that could either go into an upgrade. He could have gotten this robotics facility faster. He could have even maybe gotten a faster sentry. And keep that in mind, he actually doesn't have any sentries on the field. This means that if Illusion comes in, when his stim is complete and there's not too many force fields, he can actually just run straight up and fight this army head on. So Lure is going to need to be a bit careful. Total workers killed. Illusion did pick off 5 probes during that fight. He's actually running another group of Marines around the tower. Lure did not see them, and he does not see them heading out through the jungle. Bunker is now just starting for Illusion. He's a little bit vulnerable at the front, but the thing is, Lure has no reason to suspect why Illusion would be vulnerable, especially with that many Marines put out early. And this is where not having a sentry could hurt so bad. The Marines are going to run straight into this Stalker, and he's going to be able to get a nice free kill. And I have to say, Lure in a bit of trouble. He's going to run these Stalkers home. The Mothership Core, the new one, is out. It doesn't have enough energy for Photon Overcharge. He doesn't have any sentries to block him. The energy is going to be here for the Nexus Cannon very soon, but he's not before he loses even more probes. And this is a very difficult position to be in. He's going to throw on a Time Warp. Time Warp's not a bad call. It's going to keep the Marines in place, but it's not going to help kill them any faster. And Illusion, now 14 probes killed. This has just been so much loss for Lure, and I have to say, he looked like he was in such a good spot when he was going to open with the Zealot. Canceling that Zealot makes it so difficult to get the forces that you need to actually deal with this. And that's one of the reasons why we see a majority of Protoss players wait until they have a Stalker out to expand, keeping you basically safe from plays like this, keeping you safe from either Marine pressure or even Reaper pressure. So we do have the starport now on the way for Illusion. His build was slightly delayed due to opening without that gas, but he's still going to hit a pretty crisp timing. The first couple medevacs should be out around the 10-11 mark, 10-15. So Illusion's going to be fine to do a follow-up timing with this, and I do have to say the double forge play from Lure. We look at Illusion's vision. He wasn't able to spot this. He actually didn't even see the Robo. So what this means is Lure really needs to just chrono the crap out of these upgrades. If he wants to get even, he needs to put a lot into his upgrades. He needs to get an advantage somehow, because his economic play is not going to be anywhere near close to our Mouz Esports Terran at the moment. The Observer does come in, sees, okay, the starport is done. Medevacs are going to begin. And, well, he's going to start working away at these rocks. He's going to take a third Nexus. He did actually scout this third command center, which has been done for quite a while now for Illusion. So he knows that the aggression is going to be not as strong. Illusion hasn't had full-on mass production going just yet, but with the economic lead that he has, he was able to squeeze that command center in there without much of a problem. So Lure getting the third Nexus isn't a bad decision. Typically speaking, as a Protoss player, you don't want to get your third Nexus until you know the Terran player is going for a third themselves, largely due to the power of very fast 5 racks timings. And now we do have some sentries beginning to build up energy. Not bad. Stalker's going to go home. The factory being flown out by Illusion. Some players have been choosing to mix in Hellbats to their army composition. Illusion will choose not to. They're going to go pure Marine Marauder, and we actually have an Immortal being chrono boosted out. And this is the bit of the weakness of the build of Lure. He doesn't have a Robotics Bay. He can't actually make any Colossi. I don't even think he has a Twilight Council, so he won't be able to start 2-2. And now the drop coming in for Illusion into the main base, and he is going to start picking away. Ooh, Photon Overcharge is activated, but he will kill the Mothership Core. The Zealot gets in a couple of hits right before 1-1 completes. And this is actually a really nice time to hit for Illusion. He doesn't want to get out here. Doesn't want to lose these medevacs. One of them is so low. Barely loads up in time and will just barely escape. He will lose a good amount of that drop, but, you know, putting on the pressure is exactly what he wants to do. We now have the Armory about to finish for Illusion. He'll be able to start his 2-2 upgrades. No problemo. +1 armor is about halfway done. He does, I believe he does have that, that +1 attack now. And now adding on, moving up his barracks count. He's actually moving up to a pretty high barracks count. He's going to 8 barracks before landing his third command center. So he's just kind of setting up his production so that by the time he's mining his third, he already has the infrastructure to spend his extra income very quickly. And the other thing is, since there's no Colossi on the field, he can continue to freely produce medevacs. And this will, of course, allow him to be a bit more sustainable during actual engagements, and will allow him to just continue to drop harass. The factory does go over here. He knows this third is done for Lure. Drop trying to poke towards the main base of Lure, but the Stalkers are in position to deflect this. He's going to run a Marine over to the south tower. He now has both of them. The Observers, though, he'll be able to spot any movements, and ooh, Lure sees Illusion is moving out now on to the field. This could be a very, very difficult to hold push. He does have a good amount of energy. He has an Immortal. A second Immortal is coming out right now, but 2 Immortals. There's 9 Marines. The DPS for these guys is so high. I'm just not sure without AoE. He's going to need some great force fields here to split and partition this army off if he wants to be able to win this fight. Illusion coming in now. He has the plus 2-2 on the way. He's at 1-1 right now, and 2-2 is just starting for Lure, so he's not going to be able to get a big lead unless he can dump Chronos into that, but it seems like he needs his Chrono for units, and Guardian Shield activated. He's going to be able to shove Illusion back. He has a pretty high Marauder count, which will favor these Immortals in an engagement. Ghost Academy now starting as well for Illusion, so he's going to keep all of his bases checked here. Basically not going to have to worry about Templar play. But we do have the first Colossus just starting now in a drop going into the main base. Illusion. It's going to be deflected, though, to the Photon Overcharge. He might be able to kill another Mothership Core, and oh my goodness. Lure spent like 400 or 500 gas on Mothership Cores this game. His tech has been so slow. First Colossus not coming out until 15 minutes. 15 and a half minutes, really, is what it's going to end up being. A difficult position, and Illusion now loading up 2 more medevacs. Basically, he's going to time this so that by the time the Mothership Core he actually does build another one. He immediately replaces it. And the issue here, he doesn't have enough energy for Photon Overcharge. The Nexus Cannon is about to expire, and this will allow Illusion to do a lot of damage if he can drop in the right location. There are still some forces left behind by Lure, but he also has a little bit of a run-by force prepared on the left side, and Lure is aware of this. So it's all going to come down to control, and Illusion's drop micro. He's going to come right in on the Stalkers. Pretty hot landing zone, and the Zealots are going to be warped in to deal with this. There's too much here for Illusion to handle. He's going to lose one of his medevacs. So risky, staying behind. He's beginning to poke away at these Zealots, and Illusion, he's just choosing not to go for a big engagement just yet. He wants to build up the perfect army. He wants to max out, which he will do very, very shortly, and get a 4th base before he goes for any kind of attack. +2 attack is done. +2 armor is about to complete, and this seems to be his timing. He actually doesn't have that many Vikings, just a single lone Viking, but there's actually just 2 Colossi on the field. Lure's been kind of tucking these away, kind of keeping them in the pocket like some pocket aces. Sentry energy does get burned, and he's going to try to catch this army away. The Colossi are not with this army. He trying to hide them from a scan is nice, but he needs to actually make sure he has these guys with his force if he wants to be able to win. Now, 2-2 is done for Lure. He's starting his +3 attack, but SCV's actually been pulled for Illusion as well. He doesn't have really any Vikings. He's beginning Ghost production, but the lack of Vikings, it's all going to come down to is Lure going to be able to win this, even though there's no real AA for Illusion in terms of dealing with the Colossi. Zealots warped in the charge, moving in, and Illusion actually dropping in supply pretty damn fast, but the Zealot meat shield, it's getting chewed through. One of the Colossi does fall, and Illusion is going to be shoved back for now, so Lure hanging tight. He's not giving in just yet. The medevac count, though, is going to be able to remain for Illusion. This is going to give him a big opportunity to go for more, but the Observer's going to see Illusion loading this drop up, and now the army for Lure headed over towards the main base. Oh no, he's pulling back. He's trying to move out. The Stalkers are not there in time just yet. It looks like he might want to try to catch the army coming in. The rallied force is going to get taken out. He throws an EMP, does clean the Sentry and the Immortals of their shields, but Illusion, his rally getting caught a little bit there. And now he's going to try to just drop on top of these Stalkers. The Marauders unleashing those Punisher grenades, picking these guys off. Nexus Cannon is activated, and it looks like Lure could just try to go for a big counterattack. Illusion's rally! It's been, oh my goodness, he's throwing away all of his units. He needs to ball up his forces. He needs to get a concentrated army, and now the supply's even. Lure, he didn't take any damage at his 3rd. This could be so bad for Illusion. He lost a lot on that drop. He wasn't able to do a crazy amount of damage. He does have a 4th, but does he have what he needs to kill this is the real question. And there are now a couple Archons mixed into the fray here. And Illusion's going to give a bit of chase. He does have these medevacs loaded up. He's going to be able to tag. Oh, the Immortal getting hit by the concussive shell, doing some free damage there. And Illusion's going to engage. This is not a place where you often would fight, and Illusion just doesn't have enough. There's too many Colossi, 3 of them slicing and dicing for it. Lure just playing such a patient game, hiding those Colossi earlier. I gotta say, Illusion throwing away so many SCVs versus those Colossi when he didn't have any Vikings really hurt him, and now Lure might be able to push in here and kill him. +3 attack is done, +3 armor is on the way. +3 attack is done for Illusion. He doesn't have +3 armor coming in. And the 4th base going up for Lure. This is going to be it. Illusion needs to hold this off. If he loses his whole army here, the game is going to be over. Vikings are getting in some solid shots, but the Bioforce being driven back for now. The Zealot's going to move into the mineral line at the same time. The Archons finally destroyed, but Illusion stepping forward, trying to get some hits on the Colossi with his Marauders. All of the Vikings are dead, though, and Lure warping in more reinforcements. He's sending in extra charge lots. +3 armor is, oh goodness, only 20 seconds away now. But Illusion is going to be able to hold He does have still a good number of SCVs. He still has the 4th base of economy, but the question is he going to be able to produce enough to hold off a possible follow-up attack from Lure? And now Lure's moving into Storm. Illusion did pretty smartly have Ghost production going earlier, but he lost them all with the misled rally, and he hasn't actually reproduced any of his Ghosts. This is going to make him super vulnerable to Psionic Storm. I love this factory just kind of zipping around. It's like, okay, checking out the scenery. And we do have Lure taking out the rocks, and it looks like Illusion wants to push in. He only has 3 Vikings here. It's still very risky business. And the Observers, you know, Illusion hasn't scanned to kill a single Observer this game, and this has helped Lure so much, catching the drops, being prepared for where the army is going, and just doing so much damage. Illusion's going to swing around to the right side. There's not an Observer on the right side, but he does know that he retreated, and oh goodness, Lure, he's moving up now. He needs to wait for his Storm, though. It's about 10 seconds away, so playing a bit of patient game. He's going to find the 4th base. Illusion possibly going to lose his newest mining base. The Templar are positioned to try to stop the Bio Army from charging in. 1 Storm does go down, completely whiffing it. There are 5 Colossi on the field and only 6 Vikings. Guys, you need at least 8 Vikings to 2-shot a Colossus. And at this point, he's going to need about 16 to start one-shotting these, because 5 Colossi, it's going to take him forever to kill these. I love this. It actually loads up the Ghost, trying to get it away in that speed boost, realizing that the Templar are a serious threat now. And Illusion having such a good lead at the start of this game. These missed rallies hurting him so badly. He's overextended so hard in that earlier fight. Storm drops will EMP some of the Templar. There's no Storms anymore. And Illusion pressing forward with the Vikings. This is his chance. He wants to try to win and just kill this force off right now. He may be able to do that if he can catch this. The rest of the army is over at the 4th base. More Zealots coming in. Is Illusion going to be able to do it? The Arc looking so good for Lure. The Archons, the Charge Lots hitting everything. Still 3 Colossi on the field. Whoa, 1 more down. He's down to just 1 Colossi, but GG from Illusion, and Lure coming back from behind to win game number 3 in this best of 9 series. Wow, that was actually shocking. I have to say, Illusion opening up. You know, the 2 racks is pretty good for players that skip their Zealot, but in all honesty, it didn't look like Lure was going to, and Lure fell significantly behind because he did skip his Zealot. I gotta say, though, he dealt with the drops magnificently. Great Observer positioning, and Illusion, you got to scan, you got to kill those Observers if you want to be able to move out like that. You know, loading up full 6 medevacs full of units to go for a drop. When your opponent has an Observer right there, there's a lot of ways they can punish that, and he did. He chewed up the rally. He prevented Illusion from building up a nice large force to defend his 4th, and well, now we have a 2-1 lead for MVP. I will update that right now. Guys, I'm Nathanias. If you guys haven't heard of me, I am a caster for StarCraft 2, obviously, since you are here. I will be casting, actually, the community stream, one of them in English, for the DreamHack Open coming in this weekend. So hopefully, if you guys like my casting, please follow my Twitch channel. You can follow me on Twitter. I am at QuanticNate. And, yeah, my Facebook, Nathan StarCraft. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the cast. You're watching the Acer TeamStory Cup. Don't go anywhere.